What did you see?
Well, I saw crime increasing for several reasons. One, economically, because there's so many people unemployed, for double-digit unemployment. And I've been talking about as high as over 12% unemployment before it's all said and done. And that was way before, way before
right.
the unemployment. At that time, it was 4.5%, I believe, when I started talking about it. But I also saw unemployment because of the economic decisions that are going to be made, but also saw the food shortage then further harming the unemployed, because food would be so expensive they couldn't afford to get it. And so then you end up seeing people actually robbing food trucks that would carry food to grocery stores. And the day would come when there would have to be armed guards riding with food trucks in order to keep the food truck from being waylaid or hijacked.
Sounds to me like there's going to be a great deal of fear going on.
Yeah, one of the plans of the enemy, well, there's going to be fear because of just God saying, I'm God, you're not. And we wanted to return the fear of God to the church first and foremost, and then to the nation. But one of the plans of the enemy is going to try to capitalize on that fear. So you have enemies of the United States that are going to be doing issues. Both China as well as the Islamic community are going to be doing things to the United States that are going to be to generate fear. And so they're going to be doing things with the school systems. They're going to be doing things with malls, shopping malls. There'll be explosions in shopping malls that will make people afraid to go to high traffic areas like malls would be.
As a matter of fact, you saw a lot of malls closing down.
I did. I saw a lot of malls closing down, and interestingly enough, because of the storms that happened in some of the cities, the malls were actually used as housing for the people who didn't have homes.
And then you saw a migration of people out of the big cities.
I did. I saw a migration of people out of big cities because of the fear that was there. There was fear of what would happen in the school systems. There was fear of what was going to be happening in just high traffic volume areas. Various bombs that would go off and people would be killed, and so people were afraid to go in. Almost like suicide bombers in Israel, when they had suicide bombers on the buses and things, which, by the way, is going to be increasing. But it is going to be happening here in America. Not just suicide bombers, but actually bombs that would be left in various places that would detonate at a certain time. People are going to be moving to rural areas in order to keep their children safe from the urbanization and fear issues.
You literally saw people digging up pavement to plant. Explain.
Yes, and there was a couple of cities where people in various inner city areas would actually try to dig up the pavement. They would get unused backhoes and use that to try to pull the asphalt streets up and try to then plant seeds underneath in the dirt underneath the asphalt streets.
What about in the areas of war?
Well, areas of war is going to become increasingly more and more hostile. The issue with North Korea is not as trite as a lot of Americans might think it is. And what they're going to be doing, especially in furnishing materials to other nations, is scary, and will actually lead to some detonation of some fissile material. The issue of Pakistan is probably the most serious of them, other than Egypt. And the issue, I saw Pakistan turning into a terrorist community, that it will cease being friendly to the United States. It will be overthrown in some way. I'm not sure whether that's a military overthrow or a coup or how all that works. I saw bits and pieces. You see the result, but you don't know sometimes exactly what the process was. And
you saw a dirty bomb going off in America.
I did. I saw more than one dirty bomb going off in America, and the first one I saw was in a coastal city. And the city, I didn't see the name of the city, but I saw tunnels underground in the city, and I saw those tunnels full of water.
And you saw a nuclear type of material being secretly brought into the United States.
Right, in underground passageways. And can
you be more specific? Where were they coming from?
It looked like it was coming in an arid area, so it looked like it would be from the Mexican border. And so I would assume that it would be from that direction versus the Canadian border because of the arid area that I saw it coming through. But I also saw things like some type of biological warfare coming through, that the Islamic community would pay some of the people in Mexico, like mules, to carry biological and chemical weaponry in these tunnels to the United States, and then release them in certain areas, or deliver them to somebody who would release them in a large populated area.
I'll tell you, I wish we had more time to cover all of the things in all of the areas that he saw, but the most important area we're about ready to cover, and that is a visitation of the glory of God, that if you have one iota of fear, all you have to do is get on God's team and fear will vanish. Be back right after this word.
We'll be right back to It's Supernatural.
God has shown proven prophet John Paul Jackson that a perfect storm capable of bringing unprecedented calamity is coming to America. The storm will be made up of 5 elements: war, politics, economics, religion, and geophysical issues. What is going to happen, and how can you prepare? Call now to receive your copy of John Paul Jackson's DVD, The Perfect Storm, for a donation of $18 or more. Shipping and handling is included. Ask for offer number 1240. On this DVD, John shares what God has shown him taking place over the next 10 years, including unemployment skyrocketing and the dollar drastically losing value of rural land increasing as people flee big cities due to food and water shortages, rare weather patterns including tornadoes with winds over 350 miles per hour and hurricanes spanning over 500 miles, an assassination attempt on President Obama's life by Islamic extremists, and Islam's efforts to infiltrate the U.S. government. But even in the midst of these dark times, God is preparing the way for his people. John shares what he has seen of a coming great move of God, and how God will supernaturally provide for and protect those that love him. Call now to receive your copy of The Perfect Storm for a donation of $18 or more. Shipping and handling is included. Ask for offer number 1240. Call now, or you can write to Sid Roth. It's Supernatural. Post Office Box 1918, Brunswick, Georgia 31521. Please specify offer number 1240 or log on to sidroth.org. Call or write today.
We now return to It's Supernatural.
Sid Roth here with John Paul Jackson, and John Paul Jackson has been showing a window into the next 10 years of what is going to happen in the world. And John Paul Jackson, what's going to happen here in the United States in the political area?
Well, the Islamic community is going to continue to make inroads into the political arenas. They've got a multiplication project that is designed specifically on their part. It's a 100-year plan. At least that's what the Lord showed me, a 100-year plan that they have that, and I'm not saying that it's going to be 100 years before the Lord comes back. It's their 100-year plan.
Right.
So, but their 100-year plan is basically to have a president in the office of the United States, a president of the United States in office by 2024. That their plan is to have, before that date, to have mayors of cities, governors of states elected and in place before then, to have congressmen and senators in place before then, and then after that to have a judge, have more than one judge on the Supreme Court in order to change the laws and implement more of an Islamic law into the United States.
Now, what did you see happening in schools in the United States as far as Islamic prayer?
Islamic prayer would be allowed, and Christian prayer would not be allowed. They would make time.
It's outrageous.
It's unbelievable. When I saw it, I thought, surely not, Lord. But they will allow, because of the fear factor, they're going to allow Islamic prayer in the school system in the United States, but not Christian prayer in the United States. They will allow time for Islamic children to pray, but not time for Christian children to pray.
What did you see about President Obama?
I saw that there was going to be an attempt upon his life.
By who?
I saw that it was going to be by the Islamic community, like it was racially motivated.
And of course, we should pray that this not happen. But if it happens, what would occur?
Then there would be incredible race riots in the streets like we've never seen before in this nation, and it would be worse than Rwanda.
And with all this devastation that you see,
right,
you saw the glory of God invading planet Earth. Tell me what you saw.
Well, the Bible talks about a time of Jacob's trouble, a time of incredible hardships, incredible difficulties. But a lot of people don't look at what the Lord said about the Jacob generation. The generation that's going to see that trouble is also going to see his glory.
Yes.
For in Psalms 24, it talks about the glory of God that's going to come in. Who is this King of glory? That is the chapter that asks that incredible question. And it talks about what is going to happen. He who ascends to the hill, to the mountain of the Lord with clean hands and a pure heart, who's not lifted up his soul to vanity. These type of people are going to see incredible things of God. And what I saw the glory of God invading his church again. I saw the glory of God invading homes again. I saw the glory of God invading places of worship again.
Get specific.
The glory of God, what I saw was like, it was thick, it was honey-like, it was like you see on the road. On a hot day, you'll look down the road and you'll see a shimmering on the highway. Well, this happened in the churches that I saw, and in the places where the glory came down. It was a shimmering like a cylinder, a large cylinder, and varying sizes of cylinders of this shimmering, honey-colored, amber-esque colored light, and